One thing, don't freeze. I never freeze. Black Panther was okay. A lot of people love this film. I think it's overrated. I literally just watched it now. I don't know what to think of it. It's the first Marvel film that I walked out of not really having much of an opinion on. Like, it's... At the end of the day, I'm going to judge this as a movie fundamentally. And I'm going to judge it, like, in regards to the other MCU movies. And in saying that, it's fine. It's not bad, it's not great either. I don't think it deserves all the praise that it gets for being like a game changer, because it really isn't. It's a film with a mostly black cast, and that's its selling point. It's no different to something like Iron Man or a Thor film. It's no different than that, only that the lead character is black. That's the only difference. Well, I'm going to start off with what I thought was good. I'm going to start off with, and then finish off with what I thought was bad. And there will be spoilers as well. There will be probably a lot of spoilers. The first thing that I thought was good was the villains. Usually that's a problem with the Marvel films, but here the villains were good. Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger was good for the amount of time that he was on screen. But he wasn't on screen a lot. So yeah, the film does this thing where it shows Michael B. Jordan at the beginning, and then where he's talking to Ulysses Klaue, and then they don't show him again for like another hour, it felt like. Ulysses Klaue was funny as hell. Like, he's one of those bad guys that you want to be like robbing the bank when you're in there. He's so suave about it. He's so cabaret. He's got such a likable personality that you want him to be the villain of every Marvel film. He comes in and he's like, "No, I'll let you go. I'll let you go. You can go." And then he lets the guy get to the door and then just shoots him out there. Like, that's funny. That's how you do a villain. If you want to make a villain funny, that's how you make a villain funny. Like, I think this film has one of the strongest, two of the strongest villains in the MCU so far. Also, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Once again, Marvel's hit out of the park. No one else could play Black Panther like Chadwick Boseman can. Like, he is T'Challa. He is Black Panther, and he embodies the character so well. Like, I've said this before, not on the channel, not in any videos, but I've said always that every word that comes out of Chadwick Boseman's mouth, at least when he's playing Black Panther, sounds epic. Like, every word that he says just sounds so epic. Like, it's like, "You tell us what happens to the rest of the world." That sounds epic. Even in the Infinity War trailer, where he's like, "Engage your defenses, and someone get this man his shield." Any word that comes out of that guy's mouth just sounds epic. Any word. Like, yeah. I also liked the world. I like seeing Wakanda and how how like beautiful everything looks. The film looks amazing. Like the scenes in Korea, they look amazing. Scenes in Wakanda look amazing. Everything looks amazing in this film. Like the action as well, very Kingsman-like. Like it's very flashy. It's like wide camera angles, like a lot of wide shots. Very Kingsman-like. It's really good and it's really exhilarating. Where the film falls flat, like some of the background characters were good, but a bit questionable. Like there's this one character played by the guy from Get Out, where he's at the beginning of the film. Oh yeah, me and T'Challa were best friends. Yeah, there's nothing we could do, and yeah, we won't start a war or anything. Then, like in the middle of the movie, when Michael B. Jordan's character, when Killmonger takes over Wakanda and he presumably kills T'Challa, he comes back. I mean, you already know he comes back. He saves the day at the end. Superhero movie. Yeah. So when he quote unquote kills T'Challa, he's then like, well, that settles it. You killed our king. You're the king. I'll do anything for you. Yeah. And then, so he's loyal to whoever. Which I think wasn't really what they were going for at the beginning, and he becomes more of a villain as character after that. The other character I was a bit peeved off about was M'Baku, who's supposed to be Manape. I liked the fact that they got an actor that was big and imposing and very physically imposing and physically large to play the role of Manape. I'm glad that they got someone who's like very threatening and has a threatening demeanor. I just feel like they tried to do too much forced humor with him. Like, there's one scene where he's talking to Martin Freeman's character, and he's like, "No, you shut up now, or I will kill you and feed you to my brothers." And he says, "No, I will not do that. We're vegetarian." And then he's laughing for about 5 minutes, it feels like. And the jokes in this film, like, I'm going to go on to the stuff that I didn't really like. First off, the jokes, the humour. Humour doesn't work. Most of the jokes fall flat. A lot of the film, with the humour side of it, falls flat. That's not really its strong point. Like there's this one scene where I was holding my head in my hands for about 10 seconds after the sentence was said, where his sister, T'Challa's sister, is talking about a pair of sandals that T'Challa's wearing, and she just straight up says, "What are those?" So when films do that, it's painful, and that almost ruined the film for me. There's some humour that works really well, like with Martin Freeman, and most of the, some of the humour with Chadwick Boseman works, but the humour with Manape, the humour with his sister, with T'Challa's sister, Shanna, or Shala, whatever her name was, that doesn't really work as well. It doesn't work as well as the Martin Freeman humour, and I just feel like you need to understand the type of humor that would go towards a character like that. So instead of them quoting memes or quoting like popular trends, because they are from a foreign land, but it's so technologically advanced, you would think that they'd make more jokes about how primitive like America is compared to them. They do drop a little jabs at America and like how primitive guns are and stuff. They do jab a little bit at that, and I prefer the humor like that because it works. I don't like the humor where it's quoting like American stuff, because that wouldn't actually happen, because Wakandans are very anti-America and anti-outside world. But come the end of the film, they do open up to the rest of the world. They do say, look, we have this storage of vibranium. We're more technologically advanced than you. Let us help. That's the after credits scene, which I think could have like saved an after credit scene and just put it on the end of the film. That could have been the close off point. We don't really need an end credit scene for something that really is a major plot point. What else am I gonna say? Yeah, the film feels like there's two films in one. It feels like they tried to mash up Black Panther 1 and Black Panther 2. Like, they have the first half centering on Claw, then Claw gets defeated, then we move on to Killmonger. It would have worked more if when Killmonger found or like broke Claw out, if he brought Claw to Wakanda as well, but then we would have had a whole second half of the film like gone down the drain. We would have missed out on like Black Panther's death and resurrection and him learning more about his character and so on and so forth. But yeah, like I said, Black Panther is the only film in the MCU so far that I don't know what to think about. Like, the action, the spectacle, the money shots, the big spectacle scenes are good. But it's the little details, like the side characters, the humour, the things that you would think should be easy to do are the things that this film like mucks up on. It has a great lead cast, has a great lead, it has a great lead villain, has a great secondary villain. It has one great like secondary character. Well, it's got two. It's got Okoye, who is badass. It's got Michael B. Jordan. The sister character gets more tolerable by the end. She becomes a badass at the end. She gets like these gauntlets that like spray out sound. Like, she has a badass few seconds and then kind of just goes back to being annoying. Yeah. Also, in the comics, Man-Ape is a villain, and I would like to see. I don't think they'll go that route in the films. I think they'll be more like in this. They were kind of like unwanting allies. because they actually come to help and come to Black Panther's aid at the end. I felt like the fight scene in the middle of the film was actually better than the fight at the end of the film. The fight with Claw, where he's like leaping over cars, he jumps onto the building, runs across the building, and then jumps onto the other car. The one that was in the trailer is almost better than the final fight. Not quite as good because we have the big like two armies clashing like above ground, and then underground we have Black Panther and the Gold Panther, Eric Killmonger, like clashing. And then there's a train hitting them. There's rhinos with armor. Like, it's just everything you could think of is thrown into that. And just to think Infinity War is going to be even bigger. I hope and I pray that Infinity War like moves, like keeps the action, keeps the momentum that this film has, but doesn't have the like cringy humor and the awkward side characters. I hope that everyone gets their show in that film. But I'd laugh if it's shit. I'd really laugh. I'd laugh if they just get all the old actors. They get Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man. They get the Japanese Spider-Man swinging in there. They get Lou Ferrigno back as Hulk. They get the Thor that was in that Hulk movie back. That would be hilarious. Just to see like Tony Stark as an old man without all the hair gel or like hair dye. He's just coming down in this armor made of wood. You get the old 1960s Captain America. We get the Italian Red Skull from that film. God, that'd be hilarious. But it's probably going to be amazing. But I can't say really. That this film was kind of... It's good, but it's not as good as I thought or wanted it to be. Where would I place this in terms of like the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Right in the middle, like in between Avengers 2. Like it's better than Avengers 2, but it's not as good as Doctor Strange. I feel like Doctor Strange had more of the imagery and more interesting characters and a more interesting world building than this. But this had a more interesting lead character. And the soundtrack was also like a really, really integral part of this film. Like, I'm not into like the rap and the Kendrick Lamar stuff. I don't really like or know like much about that. I don't like that kind of music, but I can appreciate that it works for the film. Like 80s music works for Guardians, and rock music works for Avengers, and the like the works for Thor Ragnarok. Like, each film has a soundtrack that works, and this soundtrack works for the type of film it is. I don't feel like it's a game changer. I don't feel like it's necessarily the #1 movie in the world at the moment. I feel like it's garnered too much praise than it's worth. It's definitely not bad. You should definitely watch it, but there's a lot to watch out for, and that the film the film isn't going to blow you away as much as you're expecting it to. So that's been my review of Black Panther. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget the notification bell, all that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow with another comic book haul. I know I haven't reviewed all of the books yet. I will get around to it. But I have been busy. Peace.